Mumbai is a city that practically runs on water. It absorbs roughly 2,500 millimeters of rain every single year. For most residents, wading through knee-deep water on a morning commute is an expected minor inconvenience. The morning of July 26, 2005, started exactly that way. It was a standard, damp Tuesday with the usual monsoon drizzle washing over the streets as people headed to work. But by early afternoon, the meteorology shifted. A massive cloud system rolled in and simply dropped anchor directly over the northern suburbs. Instead of raining and moving on, it locked into place. In a single 24-hour period, that stationary system dumped 944 millimeters, over 37 inches of water onto the city. Most of it fell in a narrow 12-hour window, shattering Mumbai's previous all-time daily record of 575 millimeters. The deluge was intensely localized. While the north was drowning under 944 millimeters, the weather station in Colaba, just a few kilometers south, recorded a mere 73 millimeters. People on one side had no idea the other was submerged. The sheer volume of water was a freak act of nature. But to understand why it turned into a catastrophe that killed over 1,000 people, we have to look at the systems that were supposed to keep the city dry. The infrastructural collapse began at 2:30 p.m. As the floodwater rapidly rose above the train tracks, the track-level signal systems of Mumbai's entire rail network suddenly short-circuited. The trains came to a dead stop. Millions of commuters were instantly stranded in carriages and on platforms, triggering a mass migration as crowds abandoned the stations and poured out into the flooded roads. Right as those streets gridlocked with people and vehicles, the ocean delivered its own blow. At exactly 3:30 p.m., a massive 4.48-meter-high tide slammed into the Arabian Sea coastline. This cross-section illustrates the logic of Mumbai's infrastructure. The city relies on a gravity-fed drainage system. Under normal conditions, storm runoff flows downward through pipes and empties into the ocean. But with the ocean level now sitting higher than the drains, the sea refused to accept the runoff. The pressure pushed the water back up the pipes, forcing it into the streets and trapping the rainfall within the city. The city had become an inescapable bathtub. The sky poured water in from above, while the ocean blocked the only exit below. Mumbai's primary internal defense against this kind of flooding is the Mithi River. It's a 17-kilometer natural drainage vein meant to carry storm runoff straight from the city out into the sea. Decades of urban encroachment, industrial dumping, and airport expansions had choked this vital river down into a narrow, restricted gutter, significantly reducing the volume of water it could actually carry. At the same time, development paved over the coastal mangroves. These deep-rooted forests acted as natural sponges, historically absorbing immense volumes of excess floodwater before it ever reached the streets. Then there was the mechanical limitation. This funnel graphic demonstrates the reality of Mumbai's British-era drainage network. It was designed to handle a maximum of just 25 millimeters of rain per hour, a tiny fraction of what was falling. This bottleneck wasn't a surprise. 12 years earlier, in 1993, a comprehensive engineering report explicitly warned officials to upgrade the drains and build pumping stations. That report was never implemented, reportedly due to a lack of funds. The rain didn't create these problems, it revealed them. By prioritizing expansion over infrastructure and ignoring over a decade of technical warnings, the city had effectively outgrown its own ability to drain. As night fell, the situation turned terrifying. To prevent mass electrocutions, the city shut down its power grids, blacking out entire neighborhoods. Cell networks failed, leaving millions trapped in pitch-black, neck-deep water with no way to contact their families. The physical toll was immediate. In areas like Sakinaka, rain-soaked hillsides gave way under their own weight, causing massive landslides. Across the region, the official death toll eventually climbed past 1,000. Days later, the floodwaters claimed even more lives through a secondary killer called leptospirosis. This is a severe bacterial infection, contracted when people spend hours wading through standing water contaminated by rat urine, which enters the bloodstream through minor cuts and scrapes. Yet, as the official rescue efforts struggled to navigate the submerged city, a different dynamic took hold on the ground. Even with the power out and the government silenced by the storm, the city didn't turn on itself. Instead, The vacuum of official help was filled by a spontaneous effort of human solidarity. Slum residents, temples, and mosques threw open their doors, sheltering and feeding whoever washed up on their doorsteps. Mumbai eventually widened the Mithi River and installed powerful new pumps. But the permanent lesson of July 26th is clear. When a city relentlessly paves over nature's boundaries, engineering alone cannot fix the cost of ignoring the environment.